Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Robleski. I just wanted to share with you what you're going to be working on today. So when you go into Summit under Great Ocean Rescue, you're going down to Ocean Current Activity. And when you click on that, you're going to see two things that you are going to need today. This one for virtual students, you'll have to print this out. If you don't have a printer, I have allowed you to just record your answers on the digital copy, but everyone else should have the actual printed copy. So that looks like this. We filled out what does the red represent was hot water, blue was cold water, the yellow is the salt water, the clear was the room temperature water. And we made a prediction right here. And then we did finish the video in the class, but if you need a refresher, these are the videos that you can play, especially to help you answer some of the questions below. So where do you find these links? Because you can't click on the paper. So we're going to take a look at where do you find those links. So this is the one that you absolutely need to open up. It says salinity temperature density affects ocean currents. This is a Google Doc resource that you need to have up on your computer. So when I open that up, you're going to get a Google Doc that looks like this, and it looks very similar to what you have in front of you. We're not typing on this unless you have do not have a printer, and I do know who those students are. So we go through this, and we're going along, and we're answering questions. What happened to the hot water and why? What happened to the salt water and why? And what happened to the cold water and why? Now, if we're not sure about the why, we can go back and watch these two videos. They are live links for yourself, and you can go and listen to what they have to say. And then continuing on, it says, so you probably use the word density in your definition. I'm pretty certain that you might have talked about density, about which ones are more dense, which ones are less dense. But maybe you didn't talk about the temperature, and maybe you didn't talk about how molecules are moving around, and you're wondering, well, I'm not certain about that. So you click on this link right here. So you're opening up this link. It says, how does salinity impact ocean currents? And you and a partner or by yourself can read through, and then you notice that, oh, they're starting to talk about density, and they're talking about things that are sinking to the ocean floor. Here's a whole paragraph about temperature, and when temperatures are higher, the atoms become excited. So they're starting to talk about some of the molecules, and you can relate that to, oh, the red water was the hotter temperature, so this is going to be expanding with the molecules. And you continue on and kind of look through and read for answers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your answers, and you're going to write and add information onto 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, there's a big, huge stop sign because I want you to stop and I want you to take a look and see, did you add things about density? Did you add things about molecules? And if not, I want you to go back, reread this. This is not just to skip this. You read this and you go back and answer questions and add information about density, which ones are more dense, what's happening to the actual molecules, okay? So then when I'm done with that side and I've checked the stop sign and I made sure I have all of that, then I'm going to flip it over. And something that I have done and maybe you want to do and you're noticing, oh, hers has like highlighter. You might want to highlight the things that you should be clicking on in the resource doc. So these two videos are something you want to watch. I highlighted that. This right here, the reading, how temperature affects, I highlighted that, so I remember to go and read that. And then when I flip it over, I'm doing the same thing. It says after watching the entire video. That means I need to click on this video. It says after reading the 2 online links, and there's 2 links there that I need to record as well. Then you're actually looking at a map right here and referring to the map. Well, looking on your sheet, you don't see a map right here, so we need to go back to that resource and take a look at that. So I'm going to do that for you right now so you can see that. So I'm going to go into, I already did this one. It says watch this entire video. So when I open this up, this video talks about thermohaline circulation, and I can explain what thermohaline circulation is when I'm done. I'm going to read through and look for the answers for 10 and 11. So I might want to read those ahead of time and look. It talks about higher salinity, talks about density, talks about convection current, talks about cold water. It's talking about the water freezing and looking at surface water. And then it even talks about a global conveyor belt. So as I'm reading, I'm going to be looking for those terms. So I open this up. This is in the Google Doc resource. And I open this up and I'm going to start looking for some of those words. So I start reading about ocean currents, and they're showing me the Coriolis effect that some of you have learned about. And then I continue on and it starts talking about surface currents and the Gulf Stream. And then here is where it really gets into the deep ocean currents and the water density. And it starts talking about water freezing and the dense, cold, salty water sinking. And there's that global conveyor belt. So it helps to look at the questions ahead of time so I know what I am actually reading. And then I go back again and it says, I didn't find all the answers. There must be two things to link in here. So I open up this one. It says, how does salinity impact the ocean currents? And so when I open this one up, and it's going to take a while right here, I'm looking for, I did not get all the answers right here. So I'm going to look for the answers in my new, right here. So here it is. I'm going to look, there's a whole section on density. There's a whole section on temperature. It even starts talking about molecules. And some of you are going, this was the similar one that I read before. Absolutely. Some of the answers are in here. There's a whole section on salinity, density, and temperature. I'm pretty certain you want to focus on that, especially when you are trying to answer the questions right here. So you're going to go through and fill in the blanks, and you're filling in the blanks on your actual sheet. So here I am, I'm filling in the blanks right here. And then I get to this point where it says refer to the map. And I don't see a map right here, so I need to look at what the questions are. It says what oceans would represent the cold water and which ones are going to flow in to replace the sinking cold water. Sinking and cold. So I'm going to look back at that map, and I keep referring to this, not the record. Keep referring to my Google Doc resource. It says refer to the map. So here's a map, and I'm looking at where the cold water is. So cold sinking water is happening here and here. And then I see that some of this warmer water is coming from where and replacing that cold water. Here it's coming from where and replacing that cold water. So that's what I'm looking for those answers. Then I continue on and I look at analyze text features. Again, when I'm looking at that on my paper, notice I have highlighted click here and the map below so that I know that I have to go back and look at that document again. And to write down here which beaker, I don't see a picture of a beaker, so I need to refer back to that. So I'm again going to continue on with analyzing the text features. So it says I'm looking at the questions. And it says to help you answer, click here and look at the map below. This map is hard to read the key, so I did include that here. It's the same exact map, but you might be able to read the key a little bit better. And if I click here, I'll open up a new article about ocean salinity that I haven't seen before. So I definitely want to take a look at that. And it's talking about how you're making a salt water. And I did make salt water for you in the lab situation. But they talk about what is the salinity of the actual ocean water. And it talks about this 34 ppt and 36 ppt. What is ppt representing? And explains that in here. It talks about where you have higher salinity. So the higher salinities are those reds and the lower salinities are the blue when you're looking at this map. And so there's some information in here that's going to, again, help you answer these questions right here. Which oceans have lower salinity? You're going to look at the map. You're going to look at the article. What makes the oceans have lower salinity? That's where you want to, again, include and read where it says places of lower salinity and why. And then continuing on, it says, look at the key on the maps. You're going to look at the map. It talks about what does PPT. And then it says which beaker below. And I don't see a picture of a beaker. So I continue on to my Google Doc resource. And I go down here, and here's a picture of a beaker. One has a lot of evaporation happening, and another one has a lot of evaporation happening, but there's also rainwater and fresh water being added to this beaker. So if you're looking at the Mediterranean Sea right here. This is the Mediterranean Sea. It's landlocked. Which one do you think that's going to be? Do you think there's going to be one with a lot of evaporation or one with a lot of evaporation plus the rainwater being added to that? And notice it says explain why. So I'm not just having you put an A or B, explain why. And then you want to recheck all your work. You could potentially earn money, and you're going to hang on to this sheet, and we will go through the answers and talk about that. And this can be used as one of your resources in your Earth Material Systems 2. That could be used as one of your resources that you can use on your content assessment. I think that will help you out quite a bit. So you're going to hang on to this, and then we will go through it on Monday or Tuesday if I have you on a day 2.